Hi, I'm Yes, and this is Room for Reptiles. I got this used enclosure on Facebook Marketplace for $75. New, it would be almost $300. I'm going to try to turn this enclosure fully bioactive for less than the cost of what it would have been new. Follow along for the process, and let's see what the total is at the end here. So this is the before of the inside. I did clean it, but then I put clay balls in to see how they would fit, and I got clay all over. But it's okay, because there will be more clay balls. There are cheap LEDs along the top here that come with one of these remotes. But I'm going to put better LED lights in here so that I can keep some plants alive. We have this hole that I'm going to have to take a closer look at. It's on the outside as well. Alright, that's the enclosure. I already disinfected this with F10 veterinary disinfectant, and then I cleaned it again with a distilled vinegar solution. I always recommend disinfecting anything that you get used, because you never know. Ta-da! Now it's time to install the lights. Alright, I think I have everything that I'm going to need for installing the lights. The light fixture, the UVB, the LEDs, the mounts for the LEDs, zip ties and little chains for how I'm mounting the UVB, tiny screws, my drill, the light cage. Oh, and also this to try and pry the silicone that's holding the hole shut. There's a hole drilled already in the side for cables, so I'm just going to use that existing hole. Shove the silicone out, put new silicone in when I'm done. It looks like the hole that was already in here is not wide enough to get a plug through, which is necessary for the interior mount. So I'm going to drill a bigger hole. Okay, I'm pretty sure this is good now. Just pretend you didn't just watch me use a drill bit to widen a hole, and it's not, like, in a totally improper way. Cables are all officially through the hole. The little screws I bought, the little square on them was too small for any of the bits I had. But that's okay, because I bought different little screws with a wider bit head. So everything is going to be okay. Everything is going to be alright. So it's a huge mess here right now, but all the fixtures are in. I'm going to test them one by one, only because I have the one outlet, and I'm also going to check with my solar meter what the UV output is like on this T5 7%, because it's used. LED lights. Oh, they work. They work and they look great. Okay. Okay, that's turning on. Sorry, I don't know why the footage got cut off before I could turn on the UVB, but that also worked. Here's the finished enclosure. Dun, da, da, da. I skipped filming the rest of the process, but let's go over it now. After the lights were finished, I silicone shut the cable hole, put the clay balls back, and then cut the landscaping fabric to size to the drainage layer. I tried to secure the shelf with silicone and its original suction cups, but it turns out that silicone doesn't adhere to PVC. So I screwed holes and used more hook screws to install that. I wrapped twine around the curtain tension rods and installed those as well. The substrate is a 70-30 topsoil and play sand mix, and then I added the 2 string of pearls and the Dracaena jade jewel along with the rest of Fennel's decor. Let's go over the costs and see if I was able to pull this off. As you know, the enclosure itself cost me $75. I was able to find a used Arcadia 7% Shade Dwellers UVB for $25 and an Arcadia Light Cage for $15, both off of Facebook Marketplace. I also got the plants from someone on Marketplace that I paid about $20 for. The internal heat light mount and LED lights came to $40 together, and I got those new off Amazon, as well as the clay balls and tension rods, which were $50 together. I probably could have gotten away without a drainage layer in this one, but I wanted to have a bit of a water reservoir for the plants since they'll be watered so infrequently. The last thing I bought was landscaping fabric from Canadian Tire for $15, which I normally get at the dollar store for a lot less, but it's off season now and I forgot to stock up. And that's everything I had to buy for this build. The grand total comes to $250. I went to the Cornell's World website and their price for a brand new flat packed 2x2x2 PVC with hinged doors is $246.75 without shipping. Y'all, it's tight, but I think I'm gonna call that a win. I was able to save a bit of money on a few things that I had already and didn't need to buy, like the bulbs, dirt, silicone, thermostat, round screws, zip ties, and digital thermometer and hygrometer, which I estimate to be about $60 in additional savings. All in all, I'm really happy with how the build turned out. I know I could have stayed 100% under budget if I hadn't bought the tension rods and lizard lounger for climbing and had used branches instead, but I wanted to try this out for Fennel. Fun additional surprise, it turns out that Fennel is a boy. I had planned to keep Fennel in this enclosure until Strawberry was big enough for them to live together and until the two of them were big enough for a 4x2x2, but now plans have had to change. When spring hits, I will be moving Reaper and Herb, my other 2 male garters, into this cube with Fennel since there's more than enough room for the 3 of them in there together. It also means that they'll be staying in my office with me instead of moving down into the reptile room, which is a bit of a hassle for feeding, but means I get to hang out with them while I work every day, which is pretty neat. Thank you so much for sticking around and watching my video. Your support means the world to me as a new creator. Take care of yourselves, everybody, and don't forget to make room for reptiles.